Welcome back to That's How You Feel podcast. That we are back with another fire interview for y'all. So our guest is an NFL wide receiver who's played for the Oakland Raiders, Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, and Miami Dolphins. He's a golf junkie, and he currently has a YouTube channel focused on his game that you guys can check out.
Yeah.
We welcome Brice Butler to the show. Brice, what's up, dog? How we doing?
What's happening?
What's up,
Feeling
brother? How
good.
you doing today?
Feeling good, man. You know, got my workout in, got my recovery in. Haven't got my golf in yet. We doing this right now. Then after that, we're going to hit that golf course.
No, what's crazy is, bro, I was just subscribed to your YouTube channel even before we set up this interview.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Appreciate it.
I'm a big GM golf guy. You know, I see you
Okay.
play with the boys, Matt, Steven, Garrett, Michael, all those guys. So
Yeah.
how did you link up with them?
Just through friends. So, like, the guy that I would consider like my golf manager and really close friend, we had been trying to figure out a way to, form this group, this golf group. At first, it was just kind of go around and do what the Barstool Sports guy did with the pizza.
Right.
Like go around and go to different courses, stay at the resorts or whatever, and kind of give a review on them. Mm-hmm. So whatever. So that was kind of like our inception, like thought or whatever. And then it came down to it where we were like, nah, let's just do like a YouTube content team that just goes out and has fun on the golf course and just does stupid stuff. Just goes, trains, lift weights, boxes, just do like crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like kind of like almost sort of kind of like a Dude Perfect. And then I had met Garrett through Brody Smith a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So like I kind of knew who he was. I followed him on Instagram. I was like, oh, this kid hit stingers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then my boy Joe, who I was telling you about before, he hit me up, I think this February or March, like right as COVID kind of started, happening.
Right.
He was like, yo, let's go to this spot in Alabama that we always go to. It's called Purcell Farms. And he was like, I'm going to invite those like young, YouTubers to come with us and we're just going to just have fun or whatever. And that's kind of like when it all started. And, we've been doing a lot of stuff together and we have some more stuff that's going to come. Can't really speak on it yet, but it's going to come and it's going to be sick. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for that too. So when did you start playing golf?
I used to play as a kid, but like as of recently in 2016. So after my first 2 seasons in the NFL, I had shoulder surgeries. I wanted to play golf, but I couldn't. Mm-hmm. And then once I got traded to Dallas, Dallas is a little bit more of a golf city, Texas, they golf more a little bit there. And I was like, it's time. Tony Romo kind of like talked trash to me about golf one day. I remember he had like some clubs out in his locker. And, I walked over to him and was kind of talking to him about it. Like, I'll play a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I used to play. And then like, he was like, what's your handicap? And at the time I didn't know what that meant, and I was like, oh, what is that? And he was like, oh, you don't play. He was like, once you start playing, he was like, and you actually get good, he was like, give me a call, like, and we'll play. But he's like, until then, we're not going to be playing together.
Damn, so you have a resume for Tony Romo to play with him?
Yeah, when the higher you get up when it comes to like these golfers, like Larry Fitzgerald was the same way. Mm-hmm. When I first got to Arizona, I remember, I told him I golfed, and then he was like, he was like, send me a few pictures of your swing so I can figure out if you should play with us or not. And I was like, what? I was like, no. What? I was like, if you don't want me to play with you, I don't have to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sending you like my resume, like you said, like a resume to like prove that I can play. Like, how about we just play and you see? You know what I mean? So yeah, there's guys that be, acting like that. Cause you know how some players, and Larry and Pat are this way, and it helped me be this way too. Like they play really fast.
Yeah.
So like they go out and they want to have a round and they want to play in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like if you can get out in 2.5 hours, like it's a perfect round for them.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, when you have kids, whatever, like you realize that's perfect. I can just go out like at 12 and I'll be back by 3. Like that's
get a quick 18 in.
That's money. That's money. And then obviously, over time, like. Once you play that fast and then you get with your buddies that play slow, you be out there like, man.
I know, bro. I know the feeling. I definitely got some friends that are starting it up and it could be a drag. I'm not going to lie, but you got to be supportive. We know how we all started somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's definitely tough, but it is slow. It can be slow at times.
That's the reason why I don't play. You know what I mean? Just because
one of them.
I already have personal issues in life. Why add more? You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's just mentally draining, bro. Like, if you don't got it, that's gonna ruin your day. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not playing. So nobody invites me to play golf anymore.
Or you can just go out there with a clear mind and just be like, I'm just about to have fun.
Or just drink it out. You know what I mean? That's what ends up going. So
drink, have fun. You know, go with some dirt cheap golf balls that you ain't gonna be mad about losing. And just go hack it, dog.
Who's some players in the league that are kind of you would never expect to be? You mentioned Tony Romo. You mentioned Larry Fitz and Patrick Pat. Who's some other players that are nice?
Jermaine Kearse, Seattle Seahawks receiver. He can really play. Andre Roberts, Pro Bowl returner that plays for the Bills. He's a monster. Really? Adam Thielen, I haven't played with him, but Adam Thielen's at all the events, so obviously he can play. Patrick Mahomes has some game on him. Travis Kelce, solid. NFL guys. I mean, there's a ton, dude. Like, I mean, obviously the quarterbacks play. I got Dak into playing. I mean, I'm pretty sure his game is still like whatever, but he still likes to play. Like, he always sends me pictures like, oh, I'm on the golf course today, you know. Zeke started to play. I don't think he's playing anymore, though. I mean, there's a lot of dudes, man. Like Jason Sanders, I did a video with him, Miami's kicker. He plays. I mean, there's tons of dudes, bro. Like, there's tons. Really? I mean, obviously, there's NBA guys, too. I mean, I could, go off on a list on those guys as well. A lot of guys like to play. Like, I don't know if you know, but Schoolboy Q, rapper.
I saw that.
He's a big golfer. I golf with him every time I go to Cali. Like, I golf with him.
Oh.
There's a lot of, like, unique characters that you wouldn't think that golf. Like, Will Smith is a golfer.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. And he actually has a solid swing, too.
I saw JR Smith's a big golfer, too.
Big golfer. I'm trying to get him on my channel. I don't know if you see my videos.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I always kind of throw his name out there. Like, sometimes streaky like JR Smith. But, yeah, there's a lot of dudes, bro, like, baseball, all across sports, man, that they love the game of golf. So
what's that one club in your bag that you hate hitting, but you have to?
I would say the driver.
Your driver, yeah.
Like, I love hitting it, but like, and as of lately, it's been solid. So I'm not too mad. But like, I mean, if we want to talk about an overall club in my bag that I'm like, if I have $1,000 on this hole, I'm not pulling it out. Like, I don't care, dog. If it's $1,000, I don't care how good I've been hitting that driver that day. I ain't playing it.
Right.
I feel it, bro, because that's like the one thing. Like, once you think you got it figured out, then something happens. You start slicing. You start hooking a little bit. Happens. Like, that's what I hate about golf. But what about your money distance? What about to get to the green? What's your money distance?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this in, lady.
No, you're good.
I'm really good with my wedges. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I love to have like a 105-yard shot, take my sandwich out, 3/4 sandwich swing. If I'm inside of that, like, I'm really good with my 60 degree. So I don't use my 60 degree for anything above 60 yards.
Okay.
So if I have like a 55-yard shot, a 40-yard shot, if I have to get it over sand trap or something like that, the lob wedge.
I be tripping out with Micah and Garrett because they'll be hitting like a 9-iron 180, and I'm like, bro, how? That's like 150 for me. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with them, especially Micah, like, he plays with like super game improvement clubs. So like, even he has new Callaways now, Apexes, and like, the pitching wedge is like 43 degrees aloft, so it is like a 9-iron.
Oh, okay.
So if you hit the ball far, which he does, like, his typical 9-iron shot is going to be like 175, 180, because that it's like a 7-iron almost, with the loft. Because I have some TaylorMade 790s that I bought like years ago, and I took them out the storage unit the other day to just play. And I was like, the only problem I'm going to have with this probably is the fact that I'm not going to know or remember the distances on these clubs, And like, I had like 165-yard, like par 3. Hit a pure 8-iron, dog. Like that's an 8-iron for me, like 160, you know.
Yeah.
Pure 8-iron. It was right on the flag, and I'm like, money. Pick my tee up. I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, and literally it flew past the green.
Damn.
You know, so and I was like, oh yeah, I have to remember these clubs like went a little further. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now, you know, I was hitting 9-irons for those shots, and you know, pitching wedges for like 155, which I would never do with my normal set. Right. My normal set, like I hit my pitching wedge 135.
Yeah.
You know,
same.
You know, stuff like that. So, as time has gone with the game of golf, I realized distance isn't everything, and like hitting a 9-iron, like you said, like 180, isn't cool. Yeah. Like hitting a 9-iron, hitting your club to getting it on the green to putt for birdie is cool.
Exactly.
Not hitting it 300 yards just with a 9-iron.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
Hey, he keeps on mentioning wedges. The only wedges I know is potato wedges, brother. Hey, switching gears real quick. Talk about your personal life. You're from Georgia, right? Talk about how was growing up in Georgia.
I mean, it was okay. I mean, my dad played for the Atlanta Falcons for 12 years. So, you know, just growing up, Pops played in the league and, you know, going to football camps and doing stuff like that. I was a better basketball player than I was football player, believe it or not.
Really?
How was that? What kind of hooper were you?
I was really good. I mean, like, my game was sort of like a Russell Westbrook type, just slasher.
Yeah, 6'3".
Shot, you know, mid-range game, just slasher. Like, that's the way I played. And obviously I played football, so, like, going to the, you know, lane wasn't anything for me. You know, I was a tough basketball player, had pretty decent defense. I went to Norcross High School. Our basketball program was nationally ranked. Our football program was nationally ranked. So after about 9th grade, I decided to stop playing basketball because they were trying to ask too much of me.
Right.
Once the summers kind of hit, you know, I'm going to workouts for football in the morning, and then, you know, in the middle of the day, the basketball coaches are trying to get me to like come, you know, do like practices, and, you know, and I got 7-on-7 later. You know, I wasn't trying to do that, and
you got to commit. Yeah,
team was getting better, and I never had now hindsight, I would have chose basketball because they getting paid.
Right.
But at that time, I never saw myself as an NBA player. Right. I was really good. If you ask a lot of my buddies, they would tell you I was a really good hooper, but I just never saw myself hooping.
Right.
So after, this is funny. So when I was in high school, my basketball team went to the state championship every year. So I was on the team with my older brother, 9th grade year. We went to the championship and lost. Then in the summer, I decided to part ways with the team. And then they went and won the last 3. Oh, so man. If I would have just been on the roster, I would have had 3 rings. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And would have been
sick, but I mean, I didn't really care because I was like, I don't see myself playing basketball after this.
Right. And would have been the starting point guard. No, would you play point and shoot?
Yeah, I was a point guard. So yeah, I would have been the starting point guard, like 100%. And you know, then it would have been a different type of situation. I might have got a couple of offers to go play basketball, and then I might have had to make a decision. But I still would have chose football, man. My dad played 12 years. I wanted to do it, so I did it.
So after high school, right, you chose USC. Why'd you choose USC? Oh,
man, you know, just LA, dog.
Got you?
Yeah, you know, y'all know LA, man. Like, I went out. I took a lot of visits. I had a lot of offers from a lot of teams. And I went everywhere, like LSU, Notre Dame, Penn State, Florida, Florida State. Yeah, it's upstairs. I'm sorry, the lady's here. That's
okay, good, bro.
It's up here in the bathroom, and then I think she's coming up here to take my blood. Yeah, that's my son right there, my wife. But yeah, I went everywhere, bro. And then like the week after I went to Notre Dame, I went to Southern Cal. And I was like, oh, yeah. No questions. No questions. I was like, no questions.
Where do I sign?
Where do I sign?
That's exactly how it was. And Pete Carroll.
Yep.
Pete Carroll was there. You know, at the time, they were the number 1 team in the nation. And then I just loved the way they practiced. Like, they worked really hard. You know, you see colleges and they're ranked high, but they didn't really seem like they practiced hard and worked hard and stuff like that. My dad was there, making me understand like the differences. Like this team is ranked here or they're not ranked, and you see the way they practice, and like you see this team is ranked this, and you see the way they practice. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was dope. So yeah, I was like, I took a visit to SC, went around the city, went to Hollywood, went to the beach, and I was like, I want to kind of go far away from home. So
I'm a beach boy.
Yeah, LA, baby. I was like, I'm out. LA.
So you just touched about Pete Carroll. How was it recruiting by Pete Carroll, man? Was he – because everybody's experience from going from SC just talked about, like, everybody really appreciated Pete Carroll, and he just kept it being honest. And
yep.
You know what I mean? How was that?
It was dope, man. I mean, Pete was one of the best coaches I've ever had. I wish I was able to play with him more.
Right.
Even so much so that, like, once I had got let go by the Cardinals, I was like, what's up, Seahawks? Like, come on, come grab me. Like, let's go. Like, because every time I played against him, I played pretty well. So, and, every time I talked to him, he always spoke highly. So I used to be like, come on, like, what's up?
Don't get me then, right.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was great, man. I mean, just like you said, I mean, he kept everybody honest. And like, he understood people. I was just telling somebody this the other day, like the best attribute that he has is he understands people and he lets people be who they are. Just as long as you protect the team and, you do your job in between those white lines when you're out there, he'll let you be whoever you want to be.
That's important right there,
you know
right?
What I'm saying? Like he'll let you be whoever you want to be in the building, as long as like I said, you ain't bothering nobody or, you're not doing anything that's detrimental to the team. Mm-hmm. He's good with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And guys appreciate that. Like,
right.
You get a lot of coaches that, I mean, they have their rules and, they might be old school or whatever. They have their rules and a lot of guys don't like it. Like, I've been on teams where you had to wear a suit to the game, suit and a tie. Mm-hmm. And for me being like a fashion guy, I didn't care. Like I always want to be clean, put it when I put my outfits on. But there's some guys that are like, I'm not wearing a suit to my mom's funeral.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you get those type of clashes on teams. And now, mind you, from my perspective, you look at your team and you're like, bro, just put a suit on, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they just want you to wear a suit, just put a suit on. You wear it for 20 minutes, get out, you get to the locker room, take it off. Just go play football. You know what I mean? But, there's some guys that they just don't want to do that, and when you have that dynamic between like a coach and a player, the coach always wins. Like if the player is not doing his job and he's, not following team rules, he's not going to be on the team. And I think Pete does a great job because he doesn't allow those things to kind of be a barrier between him and his players. That's like, I'm not going to force you to wear a suit, but if you want to wear a suit to a game, go ahead. Okay. Where would you wear it to a nice dinner? If you take your, your girl out or you take your parents out. So, people understand what that is. So they'll go get this outfit and put their clothes on and stuff like that. And when you have a coach like that that's understanding, players want to do more for you. You know what I mean? And that's why he's had so much success in Seattle. And then another thing is that the best player will play. Doesn't matter if you're making 20 mil, 10 mil, 400,000. If you the better player, you gonna play. Yep. And it's true, and people know that's true. Like if Westbrook. If Russell Wilson ends up not playing well, and some other guy ends up like outshining him in practice and outperforming him, Coach Carroll will give him a shot. Damn. Like that sounds like it's not true, but it is true. Like that's him, and like everybody knows that, so it just brings the best out of you. You know what I mean? And knowing that as a starter, you're gonna do everything it takes for you to stay in that role.
Right.
You can't really have a lapse, and so that's why everybody respects him because the best player will play.
So after your freshman year, he ended up leaving. How did that hurt? Did that suck or what?
So yeah, I was with him for 2 seasons. It didn't like at first. Like you think like I was kind of mad because me and my dad asked him a ton like during the recruiting process, like, are you gonna leave? Like that every year he always gets offered to leave, and he said no. But I mean, I think that he was telling the truth at the time. Obviously he had to leave because all that Reggie Bush stuff was coming down, and he had to get him out of there. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
If you're doing dirty and the cops show up to the crib, what you gonna do? You gonna run, right? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So that's exactly what happened. So obviously that wasn't something that he was putting into consideration when we were asking those questions, right?
Right.
So yeah, I was angry at first, and then at first I was like, I'll be fine because I was gonna be like the starter. And I remember before he left, he called me into his office and was telling me like, "Hey, this is your third year. You're a redshirt sophomore now. This is your time.
Yep.
You've been grinding. You've been getting better. And I'm hyped. This is my time." And then he leaves, and even though he left, in my mind, I'm like, I'm still gonna be the guy. And then Lane Kiffin came in, and everything kind of changed for me.
That's right. Who else was in that wide receiver room?
When Lane came, Robert Woods came.
As a freshman.
Kyle Prater came.
Marquise Lee was there too, right?
Marquise Lee came the year after.
Okay.
So it was my redshirt sophomore year. It was Robert. And then the next year it was Mark.
Hey, that Stanford game. Remember that Stanford game? Robert Woods just tore it up.
Just following year, I transferred him to San Diego State after I graduated. And Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you remember? I was talking about that. I always remember that Robert Woods Stanford game. You remember that at Stanford?
Yeah, I remember that vividly for two reasons. So the year prior to that, I had my best game in college. I had like 6 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. It was like 99 yards, literally, and I was pissed. I was like, one more yard.
Come on, give me that one. Yeah.
And it was against Richard Sherman and those guys, Adi Badimosi, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. And the lady's here. I didn't even know she was here.
Yeah, you've seen her in the back.
And so, so I had my best game in college that year, I think, against Stanford. So the next year, I'm like hyped, like, Stanford, I can, have a big game against them. And I remember earlier in the game, and this shows you how crazy me and Lane Kiffin's relationship was. Earlier in the game, I went in and they called this play for me. It was like an audible, and I caught this wheel route. It was like a 30-yard bomb up the sideline. Caught it, maybe had like 10 yards to go for the end zone, but I basically caught it with 1 foot in. I was out of bounds, right? And then like they took me out the game, and like Lane like looked at me, was like, "What were you doing in the game?" And I was like, "What? Like I just caught like a bomb. Like what the hell are you talking about? Like we're about to score, right?" And so like I barely played the rest of the game, and then like Robert like went off. Like he had like 15 catches for like 200 something yards. And so like that game for me was like weird because like obviously I was happy for Robert because that was his breakout game. But then at the same time I was mad because I was like, yo, like I just made at that point the biggest play of the game, and then I got snatched and I didn't play no more. And then you're watching your young homie like ball out, and you're like, dang, he's killing. But at the same time, you're like, dang, like
that could be me.
I could be doing just as much. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like that game, like I'll never forget it. You know what I'm saying? Because I just remember that what I told you, and then like after the game, we were in the locker room, and somebody came up and told Rob like, "Hey, you got like 15 catches for like 200 some yards." And up until that point, like we, Dwayne Jarrett and Steve Smith and all those guys were there before I was there, so we didn't see nobody do anything crazy like that in the game, right? And so after he did it, we were all like, dang, like he just balled out. Like,
crazy.
We hadn't seen that, nobody on our team was getting those lofty numbers prior to that because, we had so many good players at SC. I mean, y'all know that, y'all from Fresno. So many great players there. Everybody had to like kind of share, if you will, up until Lane Kiffin got there. When Lane got there, it was like, no, this is my guy. And then there's everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but, hey, my dog Rod, he's still balling. He eating, playing for the Rams, doing a great job. I think Marquise Lee kind of been battling injuries, but, like, when he's healthy.
He's with the Patriots now.
He's with the Pats now?
He's with the Pats now.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So, he's with Cam Newton. So
yeah, that's going to be nasty.
No, when he's on the field, he's productive.
When he's on the field, he balls. He just got to stay healthy, man. So, I hope he can do that. Those are my guys. I love them, too.
So after your senior year at SC, you go and transfer to San Diego State. How was your experience there?
It was great. I have a lot of long-lasting relationships from that 1 year I was at San Diego State. Matter of fact, it was funny. One of my teammates literally like called me out on Twitter, like literally called me on Twitter because he's from Arizona, and I forgot, I've been living here for 2 years and I literally forgot he lived here. And so like I always tweet about things that happen here. Like the other night it was like 65 degrees because it rained, and I was like, if you live in Arizona, like you need to step outside right now. It feels great. And so I guess he had been seeing that stuff, and then like he put out this long thing and was like, Brice Butler act like he's from here, and he be telling people about Arizona. And
Twitter fingers, he's coming at you.
But it was all fun and games. Like, that's my guy.
Right.
And so I hit him, like one of my other buddies showed it to me, and I was like, oh, I forgot he lived out here. So like I hit him up, and I was like, oh, I see you talking crap on Twitter, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it was all good. It was all love. But yeah, I had a great time at San Diego State. When I first transferred there, I was surprised that I never took the time to even go down there when I was at SC. I had obviously I had a lot of teammates from San Diego that would always invite me, but I used to be like, why would I go down there? Like, what's down there? And when I went down there the first time, I was like, damn, this place is sick.
Beautiful, bro.
Diego's beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome, dog. All right, now I'm getting pricked.
Yeah, Willie, tell him what he's doing right now.
Focus in.
I'm good.
Are you bad with needles or what?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Are you good? Okay.
Yeah, I was an IV before practice guy, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was your draft experience? You got drafted last round, and you ran a 4.37, bro, at 6'3". Like, how pissed off were you that you
215?
Yeah, let him know.
I wasn't.
And 215, yep.
I was It was more so like I was kind of mad at myself. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like
Okay.
when you look back at college, for me, it didn't go the way that I had planned it. And that was all because of me. You know what I'm saying? Like looking back at it, it was all because of me. During the time, I thought other people were doing things, you know what I mean, that were making it harder or whatever. But once I kind of like removed myself from it and like looked back, it was all because of me, So when I first got to college, I had the aspirations to go 3 and out, right? And then, I got redshirted, and it kind of like messed up my mindset because, you're going from being a guy that you play all the time and, you're the guy in high school to going to college. And now, like, I'm not even like playing. Like I practice and I don't play, which is like weird. You know what I'm saying? And I think, no problem, thank you. I think it kind of messed me up a little bit mentally. Like that thought of, practicing and it doesn't really mean much because I'm not playing, kind of like fell through to like maybe 2 to 3 years after that until I got to San Diego State. Like when I got to San Diego State, it was like, yo, like you have to ball out because if you don't, like they're gonna look at you like, oh, like you should have never been playing at SC to begin with because like you came here and you didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it like woke me up to like, hey, like you have to do what you have to do in order to get what you want. And so I was pissed I got drafted in the 7th round because like there was a lot of guys. They were more productive than me in college, so they like were supposed to get drafted higher than me. But there was like a lot of guys. I'm like, what? Like he's not that good. What? He's not that good. What? Like he went here. That's why he was a baller. Like he didn't go to SC. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And I mean, even to this day, like when I played for the Dolphins, Kenny Stills had like a little like motivational like draft day. Like all the receivers taken before him, and we were locker mates. So like it was motivation for me too because we got drafted the same year. So I was on that list too. And so like, he got drafted 3rd round. I got drafted 7th round. And it was like interesting when we would like talk about that list, like all the guys that got picked before us, mind you, I had more guys that got picked before me than he did. Right. But like that draft was like a really heavy draft, a receiver draft class. And there's so many guys on that list that like didn't even make it through 4 years. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like you go like, man, like if I would have had that opportunity as like a 4th rounder or like a 3rd or a 2nd rounder, like I would have made a lot of money. Cause like when you get drafted that high, they give you as many opportunities as possible to mess it up. When you're like a 7th rounder, undrafted, 6th rounder, like they don't give you that same amount of time. Like you have to be like mature, ready to go, know the playbook, can't mess around. Like it's funny, but that's just what it is, right? You know, like we're both the same age. You know, he got drafted a little higher than me. I got drafted a little later than him, but like you're giving him way more chances than you're giving me. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all in the same team. We're supposedly all have a clean slate, but to his defense, that guy, you know, outperformed me in college, so he got drafted higher. You know, I mean, that's the way it goes.
Hey, Brice, you just mentioned mentioned getting drafted in the 7th round, but my Oakland Raiders. How was that?
Oh, I mean, I love my time with the Raiders, man. Like, I mean, I tell people all the time, they ask me, like, what team was, like, my favorite team to play for, like, city, everything. I always say the Raiders because I love the Bay.
Damn, bro. I thought you were going to go with Dallas. I'm a Dallas fan. He's a Raider fan.
You know, now, at the end of the day, like, I have my best football stuff in Dallas, and I love Dallas. Like, Dallas is the #1 sporting organization in the world. So, like, there's a lot of pros that come with playing for Dallas. Like, a lot of people know who I am because of my time in Dallas, and I'm forever grateful.
But the real ones know you in the town, though.
Yeah, when you think about just think about the time I was at Oakland, right? We were like horrible. Like, we were not good, but like every game was sold out, and like every game was like popping. It didn't matter if we were down like 14, 21. It was popping, dog. So, I gotta sign this paper. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, it was awesome, dog. Like, I enjoyed my time there. The stadium sucked.
Garbage, right?
But it was like, that was like part of it, right? It was just like part of everything. So it's gonna be interesting to see them being in Vegas now. You know, I got a lot of buddies that play there now, and I'm just asking, like, how's the facility? Like, you know, talking to Derek, he's like, man, it's sick. And I'm like, how does it feel? And he's like, it kind of feels weird because, like, when you think of the Raiders, you don't think of, like, super nice and, like, great and, you know, everything's pristine and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. But I've been to Vegas when that stadium was, like, almost done, and that stadium looks
– We heard, bro. We heard.
It's like I don't know what to call it, but it's just, like, black.
It's nasty. It's like a black limo.
It's just like black. It's just, it's like weird. It's just black. I don't know what kind of covering it is, or metallic, or it's just black. Like,
it's the Death Star.
Tight. Yeah, it's tight, dog. I was like, ooh, it's gonna be sick. And like, you know, just seeing, you know, Jason Witten's there now, my boy.
Which is so weird, by the way, to see Witten in that uniform.
It is weird, but
I'm happy for him.
He can't not play football. I think.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's like cursed. Like, he has to play.
He's cursed.
Like, you know, I don't like, even when he retired that first time, I was like,
what are you doing?
In my mind, I was just like, that's not gonna hold up. You know what I mean? I was like, that's not gonna hold up. Because, I mean, just being his teammate, like, and he was a guy that I leaned on a lot just for information. He always kind of pushed me. You know, and I was just like, you're retiring? Like, you didn't seem like you wanted to retire. You know what I'm saying? But his body was probably beat up, so he just needed a rest. And then he was horrible on Monday Night Football, and then he was like, let me go back in.
No, but he's the one guy I wanted them to win at least one for him, man. Him, Sean Lee, and Romo. Those guys, I feel like they deserved one, man.
Sean Lee's my guy, man. That's a great dude. Just a monster.
Right.
You just talk about, like, just a team player doing whatever it takes, and he won't back down to nobody. Like, I've seen him, you know, call people out in meetings, you know, which he should have, you know what I mean? Call people out in meetings, and, you know, those dudes wanted to fight him, and he met them, like, right there, like, what's up? We can do this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some guys – you know, they'll say something and then, like, somebody get angry and they'll be, oh, okay. Like,
my bad.
Sean's like, what's up? Like, if we got to do this just for me to get my point across, I'll do it. Damn. And I'm probably going to whoop your behind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love him too. But even though he has that fire, he's real chill, man. Like, when he's off the field, just real chill, kicks, you know, cracks jokes all the time. Sean's a good dude. Matter of fact, I'm gonna text him after this just to see how he's doing.
And right before we get into the boys talk to us about DC. So we had the great opportunity to see DC play, you know, right here in Fresno, 45 minutes away. So we already knew about DC before he got to Oakland. But talk to us about DC. I know you caught his first touchdown, right? Preseason, right?
Did I?
Yes,
Maybe.
you did,
bro.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
did.
remember.
You
Yeah.
did. We know more than you, Bryce.
Come on, Bryce.
2014.
Was
I
it?
caught a lot of touchdowns that year.
Yeah, yeah,
And the preseason, I caught like 6. He was my first one.
I think so.
yeah. I believe so. Yeah. I'm gonna put $100 on it.
Hold on. Our first game, we played the Vikings.
The preseason, right?
Yeah, the Vikings. He didn't throw a touchdown that game. And I remember they were trying to hold me. So, like, I played in, like, the fourth quarter and went off.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next game, we went down to Dallas and practiced in Oxnard, California.
Yeah, that big old fight. Remember those big old fights?
Yeah, big old brawl. And I got my first concussion that I knew about during those practices. And then that weekend we played the Lions back at home. We flew back up, played the Lions, and I had a game-winning touchdown, but Matt McGlowan threw that to me.
Yeah.
While I had a
But the
concussion.
week after that, that's the Seattle game.
No. So the week after
3.
that, week after that was Green Bay.
Oh, yes, at
And
Green
so
Bay, and then
that
came
whole,
back.
That whole week I was on concussion protocol.
Yep.
It's like I was just like I didn't practice. And then I remember
Week 4 was against Seattle, though, right? That was
yeah.
Derek's
So I
rookie
caught 2 touchdowns against the Packers
Mhm.
in like the fourth quarter. Then the following week we played the Seattle Seahawks, and Derek, I think they let him start the game because who was our quarterback?
Matt Schaub.
Matt Schaub was our quarterback.
Mhm.
Big Matt, that's my guy. I think he's still playing.
Yeah.
Matt, they let Derek start, and I think he played like the whole like first half.
3 touchdowns in the
And
first
he threw
half.
3 touchdowns, but he didn't throw me one.
Oh, we didn't.
You know what? Did he throw me one?
You had too many toes, bro. You can.
Okay, no. I caught a touchdown the first half, but he didn't throw it. So he threw 3 tubs in like his first like 3 drives. I remember he threw like Daenerys Moore a bomb. I think he threw Rye like a bomb, and he threw somebody else.
Raj. Okay.
Raj Streeter.
Yeah.
And then I came in like the second quarter, and he threw me a pass. It was like a nice little 15-yard out. Bam. Touch, toe tap, move the chains. And then I think the next drive, they took Derek out. Matt McGlowan goes in, and I caught a seam route.
Okay.
I caught a seam in the end zone. He hit me. I remember somebody hit me from behind, and they threw a flag. So, no, Derek didn't throw me one, but he did throw me he threw me a couple touchdowns during the
Make sure you edit this out, Willie.
We'll
edit this out.
We got the facts right.
Hey, but talk to us about DC. How was it playing with him, man? I think, like, as a Raider fan, he was like, the contract, the people say overrated, but bro, he's not sorry. He is not sorry.
He's a great quarterback, man. Obviously he comes from a great pedigree, right? With his brothers, his family, all players, his dad's a coach. Great pedigree. So he kind of knew coming into the league what to expect. Sort of kind of like how I was with my dad playing in the league.
Right.
And being surrounded around people that, played. And then, but for him, it was his brother, right? So, like, he was young at, like, 8, 10, 9, 10, watching his brother play. Like, they lived in Houston for a little bit. He's watching his brother play, which was awesome. Come home at night and, talk to him about stuff. So, he had a cool, like, different look, I guess, to the league, especially at the position that he was going to play.
Right.
And, like, man, he just came in and was ready to go. Like, obviously, arm talent's crazy. Now, when he was a rookie, we were terrible. And, when I think about those teams, we had so many players that were playing that weren't supposed to be playing, man. Like,
right.
We had the oldest team in the league. Like, we had 33-year-olds, like, starting just because, like, they were, like, guys where they used to be.
Another
and
team,
stuff like that, which you can't win just having a whole bunch of older guys.
Was that when Charles Woodson was on the team?
Charles was on the team, and Charles was balling though.
But Charles he's not talking about Charles on that one.
Yeah, I'm not talking about C. Wood. Definitely not. But yeah, I mean, Derek came in and he did a great job, and I saw myself being his guy. We spent a lot of time together. We worked out together all the time, and even when I was in Dallas, I used to go fly up there and stay for a month and just work out with him for my first couple of years in Dallas. Like, that was kind of like how our relationship was. I always had a weird inkling that, like, I would end up back in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? So even after I was in Dallas, I just always would have like this, like, I think I'm probably going to end up playing for Oakland again somehow, and we would talk about it and stuff like that. And I had like 2 or 3 workouts, with Oakland. and I killed him, man. So like I still don't know like why didn't Gruden pull the trigger, but he just didn't. So yeah, so I mean he was great, and I mean he's doing a great job. I mean if you look at his efficiency is killer. Like he just hasn't had like since Coop and Crab was there, like their first 2 years, he hasn't really had like a really good receiver that's just reliable, that he can just always count on. It's been tight ends for him. He has that young guy now. I forgot his name, but he's a beast. Like that tight end, that light skin.
Oh, Darren Waller?
Yeah, Waller.
Hey, what a fucking story too, right? What a story.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude.
Yeah.
So I just know, when I saw that Jason Witten was going there, I was kind of like intrigued because I was like, Waller's not letting up. He ain't letting go any catches because Witten's showing up. Like this ain't Dallas no more. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of intrigued to see how Gruden's going to work that. You know what I'm saying? Like we all know that Gruden, loves his vets, which is cool. When you get older, like I'm 30. When I got hurt, when I came to AZ, like I started to see that negative side of the league that everybody talks about. You know what I'm saying? Like you get older, you get hurt, and then, they start to kind of like count you out. And it's like, dude, like I just got an injury. Like let me get healthy and then I'll be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm back, I'm be good. And, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Jason does up there. But I think, and I wanted to see Antonio Brown work for them.
Yeah, me too, bro.
I kind of had a feeling that it wasn't before. Like right when I heard that was going to happen, I told like my guy, I was like, I know how this guy is, and I don't know if he's going to do good outside of being in the curtains that he had, being in Pittsburgh. They took care of him in Pittsburgh, and a lot of teams don't really know that type of stuff when they're bringing you in, and I think that about him. I hope he gets back in the league because he's just not with the Raiders anymore. Yeah, that's not happening again.
I gotta ask this question though because me and my friends always argue about it when it comes to Derek Carr. So they always tell me Derek Carr has never had a number one receiver. I'm like, okay, what about his MVP year when he got hurt? He had Crabtree and Amari Cooper. Would you say those guys? Would you say Crabtree's the number one receiver? Like a solid what for sure, right? Mm-hmm. And he was balling that year too.
He was the number one receiver. But talking about an older Crab, and
he was the number one.
But he never had
Crab still ball though.
No, like, I know that. But I'm talking about that's just 1-2 years. Like Rodgers had Adams, right? Like we're talking about Romo had Bryant. Coop was like just different times. So I agree to that. Those years, they were number ones. You know what I mean? But just through his career, through his process, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean the thing with Coop.
Just growing in a relationship with the receiver. Like if you stayed there too, like you know what I mean, the connection would be there. But then every coach with the Raiders was just a dysfunction. Every year was a different coach.
Tough. It's tough. It's really tough in the NFL to like to build with be like a quarterback, right? Or be like the main the defensive play caller on the other side, like a linebacker or a safety, whoever you are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like your teams keep cycling out. You got a lot of guys coming in and out, and yeah, it's hard. It's hard for you to figure out, a guy that you can trust. And then when you look at, the receiver situation there, Coop, went off his first 2 years, and then like, in my opinion, it looked like Coop like didn't want to be there no more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And who for whatever reason I wasn't there, so I can't speak on that. But like knowing him and seeing how it went from like I'm the guy, I'm balling to like it being like him really looking disinterested on the field and like really not performing at all.
Right.
Like it looked like he was like, I don't want to be here no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, you got that, when they traded him to Dallas, and I think Crab was still there when they traded him to Dallas, was he?
No, they had let him go. That's when Gruden came in. That's when Gruden came in.
Yeah. So when Gruden came in, he was changing everything up. And so that's when I went out for my little workout with them. Right after the Cardinals let me go, and I remember looking at the receiving corps. I was like, they don't got nobody here.
Yeah, they got Jordy Nelson, the older Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, older, and he didn't really do anything there. Yeah. And then me and my boy, what's his name? Brandon LaFell. Me and Brandon LaFell went out and had to work out at the same
right.
time. And they told us, like, in the meeting before we went out, was like, we want 2 receivers. We want, a speed guy, which I was.
Yeah.
And he was like, we need like just a veteran, like possession receiver, which he was. And so they were like, all y'all got to do is just go out there and perform. And then, y'all go straight. And mind you, I know who I'm talking to because I used to play there. So I know the personnel guys who I'm talking to. So we killed the workout. And like literally, man, the workout was like not even 10 minutes. Like we warmed up the longest. And then like when we went out there, I think we ran like 5 different routes from like, this side of the field and then that side of the field. And then like after we ran 5, they were like, we seen enough. We don't need to see anymore. So like we were like, oh, we're good. We're both going to be here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He went upstairs, got signed, came downstairs with his iPad. So he was like, go upstairs and, get your iPad, baby. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so I went upstairs like hype, you know what I mean? And Reggie McKenzie like came in there like kind of like head down. And I was like, and this is my first workout. Like I had never done any of this before because this is my first time ever getting cut. So yeah. I remember, he kind of came in and basically telling me they weren't going to sign me. And I was like, what? Like I kind of was like, what happened? Like y'all just told me, and then, they're like, Gruden makes all the decisions and, you look great and, Gruden had to change their heart and all this and that. And I was like, all right, whatever. I know I did a good job, and then later that year, it's funny. Later that year, after Dallas let me go, because I hurt my foot and I wasn't healthy when I went to Dallas. In Dallas, we practice on turf. So, like, if you have a bad ankle, knee, or hip, like, if you practice on turf, it's just a death sentence. So,
yeah, I've always wondered that.
It's a death sentence. So, like, I'm literally there, and they had a new receiver coach, really good coach, but, like, he was like, he wasn't feeling me because, like, I'm like, yo, I can run, but, like, I'm not, like as I was, I'm still trying to, get over this injury. I ruptured my plantar fascia. Obviously, I can still run, I can still catch, but like that just crazy speed, I don't have it right now. I don't even want to think to try to run that hard because my foot's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just wasn't feeling me. So I was there 6 weeks, and then I was out for like a month, and then I had to work out every week. Like for like that 5 weeks that I was out, I worked out for like it felt like every team. And I was getting tired of working out so much so that like the Titans called and I told my agent, I was like, I'm not going. I was like, make something up, tell them I'm not going. Cause I was like, they're probably not going to sign me. They have 2 or 3 guys that are playing right now pretty good. Like they're probably not going to sign me. So I was like, I'm not going. So literally like a few days after that, he calls me and he's like, yo, Miami needs a guy right now, and they need a starter. They said they need a starter. So that means, like, they're going to sign somebody, whoever, like, comes down there and does this workout. So, mind you, when I'm at the airport to fly from Phoenix, Sky Harbor, to go down to Miami, Oakland calls me on the phone and was like, yo, we need you to come up here. We're signing. We don't need to work you out. We've already seen you. We're signing you. And I'm like, hell no, I'm not coming. Damn. I was like, I'm not coming. Because at the time, bro, like everything was going bad with Gruden. Like it was just bad that year. Remember, he was just cutting dudes left and right. And then I was pissed because I was like, yo, like I should have been there all season. Mm-hmm. I should have been here since week 1. And like now you're calling me and it's like week 10 and you're trying to get me to come because you need help. And I was like, no. So I went down to my visit to Miami. It worked out. I signed. And then I was with Miami up until last training camp.
Right.
So backtrack a little bit. So your days in Oakland, I remember Cowboys traded for you once Dez went down in 2015, I believe. And I remember texting all my Raider homies like, hey, who's Brice Butler? Like, is he nice? Oh, dude, he's the truth. He's going to be nice for you guys. Trust me. And you came. That 2015 year was rough. I think that's when Romo went down.
Oh, man, like that was a rough year.
So rough, man. I remember that. And then so talk about going to Dallas. How were you feeling at that time?
I was feeling great to go down there. It was like weird because like my wife's side of the family is all Cowboys fans. They're all from Texas. Okay. So they would come up to Oakland wearing cowboy shirts and stuff like that. And I used to be like, yo, like, you're not staying at my house, wearing this stuff. Because at the time, I never played for Dallas. So, like, I'm like, I hate Dallas, right? Like, they're always on TV. And, like, even if they're not good, they're always on TV. And you're like, why are we talking about this team? They sorry. Like, so, yeah, like, I didn't like them. And then I remember I had probably my best camp, dude, for Jack Del Rio in 2015, coming off a shoulder surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when Coop and Crab got there. So, like, I was kind of mad because I was like, dang, like, the best I'm going to be able to get is the third receiver spot. You know what I'm saying? And, I wanted this year to be my year, And they thought highly of me. You know what I mean?
I remember that.
And so I had a great camp, dog. Like, I balled that camp. Like, I had a really good camp. And then I remember talking to Robert Moore, who was a receiver coach at the time, and was like, yo, it was like maybe a week out. And I was like, yo, like, what you think? Am I going to be playing? Like, what's up? And he was like, yo, you're top 3 receiver here to me. But he was like, the only thing that I've heard that the head coach said was that whoever's going to be the third receiver is going to be like heavy on special teams. Right. And I'm like, no. There's no way you're going to say that I'm the best receiver, I'm part of the best receivers here. And then you're going to say, like, I'm not going to be able to play because I'm not on teams. Because I wasn't a special teams guy. So,
right.
Shit don't add up.
And I should have been more receptive to it, but I blame my father for that because growing up, he used to always tell me, yo, you ain't playing no special teams. You ain't playing no special teams. Like, you just get hurt on special teams. And then, so that was my mindset towards it. So when I got into the league, which is a league where they almost ask everybody, even if you play offense or defense, to, like, kind of be a part of the special teams, I just was like, no, like, there's no way that I need to be on special teams. So I didn't play. I really didn't take special teams serious until the rest of the story plans out. So, had a great camp. We're going into week 1, right? We're in a meeting. Coach is supposed to tell us, like, the depth chart. And then, I had to go to the bathroom, like, bad. So, like, I went to the bathroom. I was on the toilet for like 20 minutes. The meeting was over. I get out the bathroom. I link up with everybody back on the little practice field or the new little weight room that they had built. Mm-hmm. And we were, like, warming up. And then I remember Seth Roberts, like, that was my guy. Oh, so, like, I went to Seth. I was like, yo, like, what did he say up the depth chart? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, he kind of looking at me funny. And I'm like, what? Like, what's up? Like, what did he say? You know what I mean? He was like, all right. He was like, well, mind you, if you remember this, Rod Streeter and Andre Holmes didn't practice that whole camp because they got injured. So they had just got back to healthy, right? They didn't do any camp. They just got back to healthy. So he goes, yo, the first 2 guys are, Amari and Crab. I was like, yeah, I know that. I was like, who's number 3? And he was like, I'm number 3. And then I'm like, what? I was like, I'm not trying to hate on him because
he balled though.
But he that last game, I remember that Seahawks game, he went like he was doing stuff that I had never seen him do before, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah. And he balled. I had a good game too, but he, like, balled. And then I remember, he was like, then the next guy is like Rod Streeter, and he was like, then the next guy is like Andre Holmes, and he was like, they got you at last. And, like, at this point, I'm, like, hot. Because this is my 3rd year. I had been through, trying to work my way. Like, I was the 3rd receiver my 1st and 2nd year. And then, at this point, I'm like, I need to catch 50 balls at least. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you make some money. And then I'm like, I'm the 6th receiver. So I'm hot. Like, eyes teared up, red, like, hot. And I just remember I didn't like the special teams coach because, mind you, I didn't like special teams. So he said something to me that I was like, F you, dog. Like,
right.
And then after that, so I didn't suit up the first week. So we played Cincinnati. Crab didn't really do nothing. Amari didn't do nothing. Pac-Man kind of, like, punked him a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Too. And Seth didn't really do nothing. So when I go into the office that Tuesday, I'm thinking, like, they called me, like, Joey Cleanscales, who was one of, like, the personnel assistants, called. He was like, hey, we need to have a talk with you. So I'm thinking, like, yeah, y'all about to tell me y'all made a mistake. right? He called me in the office, man, and like he comes in there and was like, "Yo, we gonna have to let you go today." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yo, tripping!" Like I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Yo, like I had a great camp." And he was like, "Yo, man, like I know," like he was like, "But they had a couple injuries at like another position." He was
Right.
he was like, "They got you at the sixth guy, so we had to make a move or whatever." And he was like, if you make it to practice squad, which we doubt is going to happen, he was like, you will only be there for like a week or 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And I remember looking him square in the eye. I was like, I'm not making it to no practice squad. I was like, I ain't going to be on nobody's practice squad. Like, you know how good I am. I will not be here on practice squad. Like, I'm getting picked up. You know what I mean? And he was like, I think you will. You know what I mean? So later that day, so what I didn't tell you is that Sunday, my family was there, like my mom, my grandma, my older brother. My older brother hadn't seen me play a game. So, like, I'm hot, because I didn't even dress up, you know what I mean? My grandma out there. So, that Sunday night, that's when the Cowboys played the Giants and Dez got hurt. Mm-hmm. So I remember my wife was like, yo, like, she was like, the Cowboys need to pick you up. And I'm like, Cowboys ain't finna pick me up. Like, why about the Cowboys pick me up? You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, Dez just got hurt. And I'm like, they probably got another Dez 2.0 sitting on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, waiting to ball out. And so then, like, 2 days later, I thought I had got cut. And then my agent called me back. Like, maybe I got let go at, like, 7 in the morning. My agent calls me back around noon. And he was like, yo, like, you didn't get cut. You got traded for. Because I don't know if you know this, but when you get cut and you get put on waivers, the way it goes is the teams that inquire for you, when you're on waivers, the team with the worst record is the team that can get you.
So it's like fantasy. It's like real life fantasy.
Yeah, which is like stupid. Like I should be able to pick. Like I should be a free agent and I should be able to pick like, okay, I want to go here or there. It's not like that. When you're on waivers, it's like whoever can get you, has to be like whoever, like say like you have the Falcons and you have like the Pats. And they both want you. And obviously the Falcons had a worse record last year. So the Falcons would get you, right? Like that's how it works.
First bid,
so I remember like when my agent was calling me before I found out that I was going to Dallas, he was telling me like all these teams. He was like the Bears, he was like the Browns, he was like the Titans. A lot of teams. I was like, man, I don't want to play for them. I'm going to play for a good team. A team that's been playing well. And maybe like an hour later, he calls me back and was like, the Cowboys traded for you. So I guess, the Cowboys the year before, they were like 12-4. They went to the playoffs. That was the Dez Carter year. They would not have been able to get me off waivers. So they had to trade for me. So they ended up making a deal with the Raiders. And I just thought it was crazy because I was like, my wife was literally just telling me, like, you're going to get picked up by the Cowboys. And I was like, what the heck? And so it was sick. It was just a change of culture because, like, I'm going from an organization that at the time, wasn't really good. We didn't really know, until Rio got there, like we didn't really know how to practice and all that type of stuff. And then, you get down to Dallas, we're in the NFC. NFC is a tougher division to play in. It's more physical. It's more like, aggressive, like run game, play action pass type stuff. It's not really spread offense like, Pats, Chiefs. It's not like that. So, the first few weeks for me was hard because it was just hot. You're going from 70 degrees in Oakland at practice wearing like sweatpants and long sleeves to like 100 degrees and like 85% humidity. Yeah. And I was just getting my behind kicked. Like it was just hurting me. Like practice just was killing me. But I loved it, man. I had a great time there. I learned a lot about myself as a Cowboy. Like I said, I wish – looking back, I wish I would have stayed that last year, like in 2018. I wish I never left and went to the Cardinals. I wish I would have stayed in Dallas. Should have, man. Dak was calling me every day, like, yo, like, come on, man. I need you here, dog. Like
that year, I think you got hurt. You had like 2 touchdowns. I think you were kind of balling.
So yeah, so that in 17, Cheeto was a freaking rookie. So Cheeto at the time was like a practice hard guy. Like tackling people for no reason, and, you know, stuff like that. And like that's not the way you practice because, you know, obviously you're not trying to get hurt.
Yeah, you're on the same team.
And dude, and sometimes I jokingly say this, I'll be like, bro, you ruined my career, dog. Like, you know what I mean? But I'd be dead serious. Like,
Right.
So we were in training camp. I just had a really good first game. We played in that freaking Hall of Fame game in Cleveland for Jerry Jones's induction. Balled out that game against the Cardinals. And then we come back home, and we're like in a one-on-one drill and ran a comeback route. And the ball was thrown too high. So I kind of just jumped up to see if I can kind of get to it. And then, like, I realized I couldn't. So then, you know, I'm coming down now. Mm-hmm. And Cheeto, like he was trying to make a play. Cheeto, like, grabbed my, like, collar and, like, was in the air with me and kind of pulled me back. And so now, like, my legs are, like, at a split position.
Yeah.
And his body landed on, like, my right, like, leg, foot, ankle.
Oh shit!
Like his whole body, and that's when everything like changed. So like it was a really bad ankle injury. You know, I had to like I felt like I had to prove myself that year. So like I came back a little too soon, and then like it went. You know, I was hurt my ankle freaking every day, and then it ended up turning into a plantar fascia issue later down the year, and then the following year it ruptured. So.
Yeah, what about that 2016 year, Dak's rookie year with Zeke? Went 13-3. What's the playoffs and play that motherfucker in Lambeau?
I had my worst game of my career.
How was that game though? Like actually being in it, you know what I mean? As a fan.
Well, it was like, yeah, this is sick. This is the playoffs. You can tell the difference. But then like, I played bad, dog. I played so bad.
Talk about it.
Like, I had They had a lot of nice plays drawn up for me, man. And one of the plays, like
touchdown, that touchdown too. I think
one of the plays was like, and I caught it. I don't know if you remember the next year when we played the Packers. I caught like a deep ball. It was our first. It was our first possession.
Uh-huh.
It was like a 3rd and like 12, and I caught like this bomb down the middle. Kind of made a couple guys miss, and I ran up the right sideline. So that was the same exact play that they drew up for me the year before, and so it was basically it was a coverage route. So it was a middle read, which was if it's two high safeties, split safeties, you run basically right down the middle. You just split them right down the middle, and if there's one safety, when it's one high safety, you just run like a 15 dig route, right? Mm-hmm. And I was in the side. And so this was this is after they had that crazy penalty that they called on me when I went into the huddle, and then my coaches took me out the huddle. Yeah. And then they called that like weird penalty. Like I was out and they called a penalty flag on me. Yeah. It never gets called. And like,
I don't think
I remember like everybody, like this is when like I lost my respect for Troy Aikman. Cause like him and Joe Buck were on there like clowning me, talking about like, oh, like he should know better. Like almost like I tried to check myself in the game. And I was like, nobody does that. Like nobody checks themselves in the game unless you're the starter and you came out just for like a breather. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, for you to even say that like I did that on my own, like I ran out there and then came out on my own, like, and you were a player and you know how that type of stuff works. I was like, bro, like, and then like, there's people that only get their information from people like Troy Aikman, that only get their information from people like Joe Buck. So I'm like, you're telling these people this stuff. So now when they see me, they're going to bring it up to me like what they're saying is valid and factual, and they know everything. And like, so now you're an idiot. So like, I was like, yo, like you can't do that, dog. Like, so like after that, like I was like, I don't like Troy Aikman. I'll never talk to him again. If he wants me to have an interview, I'm not going to do it with him, or I'm just going to call him out. And I'll be like, I don't care if you how many Super Bowls you won. I don't care how many gold jackets you got. I don't give a crap about you, dog.
That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You did me dirty, and you know everybody's talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So,
but there's something about Troy, but with the Dallas Cowboys, and you would think it wouldn't be that way since he played there, but he always has that little something about the Cowboys.
Well, he has that extra, like, you know, when I was there, we won Super Bowls, so like it should be the same way. It's just like having a dad that you know that's being extra tough on his kid after he was like
exactly,
you know. So, yeah, they drew up that play for me, and they had a funky coverage running, and it looked like they were going to play one high, and then I messed up the route and broke it off. I ran the dig, and they were in too high. And if I would have ran down the middle, he would have got a touchdown. And so, like, he threw a ball. You know, he threw one ball to me. And it was funky because, like, one of the play, I think the play, like, right before, he threw a ball that he, like, never threw. And, like, I guess I, like, wasn't ready for it. And that's my fault. It was my fault. But he, like, threw a ball that he never, like, literally all year I'm running this route wide open. And he, like, never throws it. And in the time that I'm not open, like, he threw it. And I still should have caught it. Like, I still could have made a play on it, but I didn't. And then the play after was the play where I told you I had that lapse in judgment on the coverage.
Yeah.
And then, like, so, like, 2 plays, like, after they called that penalty on me, it was like the Cowboys were like, all right, we're gonna let you fix it. And then I ruined it, right? And then somewhere along the lines of that game, like, I did something really bad to my wrist, and, like, I couldn't really move it. And then they threw me that bomb, and I ran right by the guy. Like, it was a touchdown, dog. Like, it was right. I still see it, dog. Like, it's right here.
I remember it too.
And, like, I kid you not. So my left wrist was the one that I hurt, right? I think it was my left wrist. So, no, it was my right wrist. So I'm here. The ball's over this way. I'm diving a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so if you see the picture of that, my right wrist is literally flat like this while my left hand is, like, you know, trying to catch it. So I couldn't turn it to do this.
Oh, okay.
And the ball literally went. Like, it literally went, like, right through my hands. And it was just because I couldn't turn my hand from here to there. Uh-huh. And I just remember, like, after that game, I was like, man, I pray to God we win this game. So, like, I could just –
and then that sideline pass to Jared Cook, bro. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, and I'm standing right there, dude.
Oh,
like that game,
I know you were. You were.
That game, I was standing right there. Like, if I wanted to be a dick and, like, hit that ball, like, I could have. Like, really. Like, I was that close to it. And I know Jared because Jared grew up around me. He's a couple years older than me, but he played football and basketball, like, right down the street in one of our rival schools. So, you know, he's a guy that I always looked up to. Like, he's a baller. You know what I'm saying? He came from my city. Yeah. And for him to make that catch, I was like, ah.
Like that?
And then, you know, we lost, and I was just like, in my mind, I was like, I probably lost, like, $3 million just because of that game right there.
Yeah. Hey, that's the stuff that
if I would have balled, I would have made like $3 to $4 million at least a year. Like, somebody would have at least gave me $3 or $4 million a year. Like, they'd have been like, "Oh, you bought in the playoff game, and you were having a decent year."
And who knows? What if we won the Super Bowl that year or something? You know what I mean? Exactly.
Now I might make $8 million. You know what I'm saying?
Just cause.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, for me, that was in my opinion, that was the worst game I've had in my career.
Man, I'm sorry to bring it up, bro. But
it still hurts me too. It's past now,
yeah.
But I mean, still, like, when I look, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it still hurts me too. But the only difference is I was in the.
If I had the coin, like, worst game, like, that was it. I had opportunities.
I was in the living room.
It's all the same, man. We all want the same thing.
Yeah.
We all want the same thing, man. So.
What was it like playing with Dak though?
It was great. I mean, Dak's my guy.
Yeah.
You know, great player. You know, hard worker. Obviously now he's the guy, right? You know, so from when I saw him.
Did you see that in him though? Like, every day, you know, he seems like a dude that just brings his lunch pail and just get to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like that. And you know, he's black, you know, black quarterback. So, like, me just being from the South, I'm from Georgia. My dad played quarterback until he got to college. He was a lot older, so he was playing in the 70s, and he was not able to play quarterback in college and stuff like that. So, you know, I just always had a thing for just trying to look out for black quarterbacks, especially when they're young. You know what I mean? And Dak came in, you know, 5th-year senior, just excited to go to work. You know what I mean? And I just remember I used to be like, yo, like, he used to always come in the huddle, like, trying to, like, you know, knock out the play calls, like, super fast. I used to always tell him, like, yo, when you come in this huddle, dog, like, just be comfortable, man. Like, we all good. Like, you know, you're leading us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go based upon what you say. But, you know, if you come in here mumbo jumbo like Migos, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to be able to, you know, so, like, you know, just going from that to, you know, being in, you know, huddles together and, like, talking trash and being like, nah, man, like, if they do this, like, let's call your own plays. And, you know, we laughing in the middle of the huddle. Like, because I'm telling you, if you talk to him today, just ask him about the time when he came in the huddle and I told him to change the play. Like, and he'll have a vivid memory of that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is rookie season, and they called a play, and I didn't like it. And I was like, no. I was like, change the play. This play. No, I was like, this play weak. And he's like, Brice, man, shut up. Just run the play. You know what I'm saying? And we always kind of laugh about that when we talk about old times or whatever.
And he's probably damn. I had to deal with Bryce and Dez in 1 year.
Well, yeah, I wasn't. I was a little different than Dez. Like everything I did was kind of like funny, even though I might have been serious.
Yeah,
like I was like funny. So like, if I didn't like the play, I'd be like, man, like change the play, dog. Like But I'm like, I'm being funny. You know what I mean? I'm not really like change. Oh, excuse me. I'm not like change the play. You know what I'm saying? Like or like F you. I wasn't like that or nothing like that. Dez was just way more just crazy passionate. Like, hey, come on, like give me the ball. Like that's this. Like that's just this. Like and he was a baller.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing with Dak was great, man. And I hope. First, I hope they pay him and stop. Like
that's what I was going to ask you too. What do you feel about the contract situation going on?
I feel like they should have paid him. Like I hate to, I hate to like use this, but like I guarantee you, if Dak Prescott was white, he would have got paid.
Oh, facts.
If I'm just being totally honest, like in my opinion, after what Dak did in his first 4 years, like from his rookie season to his fourth season, he did more than Tony did.
Don't tell him that.
But he did.
But it's true though, right? Like it's true.
He did. He took his team to the playoffs twice. He won 2 divisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we should have went. He should have. Dang, I can't talk. He should have gone to the playoffs 3 years because the year that I caught the only points in that Philly game when it was like negative 20 degrees.
It was 6-0.
I caught the touchdown or whatever. We were 9-7, and we basically were 5-1 in the division. The only loss we had in the division was to Philly earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. So like that, any year takes you to the playoffs. But that was the year that the Vikings were like 12-4. The Philadelphia Eagles were like 13-3. The Saints were balling. Like the Saints finally got back to balling again. Like there were so many teams in the NFC that were good. So like we just didn't make it in. But the year later, if you remember, they made it in 18, being 10-6, with pretty much the same record, 9-7, 10-6, 5-1, and they made it to the playoffs. And I think they won the division that year. I think. You know what I'm saying? So like he should have been to the playoffs 3 out of his 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely deserves it. He definitely deserves it. I'm not gonna lie.
So I think he should have got paid. And I was on Chris Broussard's show telling him that like he should have got paid. Like I don't know what they have to wait on, what they need to see. I
mean, they signed DeMarcus Lawrence quick. They signed Amari Cooper quick. They signed Jalen Smith quick. I understand it's more numbers, but.
And you're gonna sit there and tell me that
my thing was just like.
I said, people are gonna sit there and tell me that Brock Osweiler got paid and Dak can't get paid. Exactly. Yep. Hey, that's how we feel. That's the name of the podcast.
I wanted to get done. I really do want to get done.
He deserves every penny. He's a baller.
Pay my dog.
He's getting paid, but he needs that security. He definitely needs that security.
Yeah. I'd take a franchise 33 or whatever, 34 right now. I'll take that. For a year. That's great. I'll take that right now, right? But at the end of the day, especially being in the position that he is, you take care of your quarterback, right? Like
he doesn't miss games either. You know what I mean?
He don't miss games. He's tough. Like he doesn't miss games. He don't really miss practices. And then like he's everything you want in a quarterback on and off the field, especially playing for Dallas, which is the number one. Like you get love. Like you get love. Like mind you, like I'm the third, fourth receiver when I was there. Like if I showed up to the steakhouse, like free.
Like that?
Like. You go places. Oh, I am in. Like, you ain't waiting for nothing. Like Christmas reservations at the top of the line steakhouse, and you call them the night before, you got a spot.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? You were taken care of. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, my thing is like, he's dealing with all that. He hasn't gotten in trouble. You know what I'm saying? He's clean. Like, you know what I mean? He does everything he's supposed to. And like, my thing is like, you're saying that my biggest thing with Jerry was like, you always say like, you're committed on this guy, but then you won't pay him. Mm-hmm. And don't try to give him no friendly deal. Pay him the way he should get paid. Like Tony got, like I only compare it based upon the last quarterback that was there, right? So Tony got paid. It wasn't team friendly. Give him his money.
Yep.
You know, why wouldn't you give him, why wouldn't you give him money? And it was like they didn't want to break the market. Now they're screwed because Pat Mahomes got 50 or whatever a year, whatever he got.
Tannehill got paid.
Tannehill got paid.
Yeah. So like my thing is like now, y'all messed up now.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse for sure.
It's gonna get worse. It's just gonna keep going up. Y'all could have got him done before last season for like 32, 33 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're stuck paying him 34 or whatever it is for the franchise tag. And then
if they don't sign him again, the franchise goes up to like 37 next year, I think. Or 37, 38. It's gonna be crazy.
So I mean that's 2 years, 80 mil guaranteed money pretty much, or 70 whatever, 71 guaranteed or whatever.
Right.
And then after that, he's gonna be like F you. And he's gonna do what Kirk Cousins did. He's gonna leave probably and go somewhere else and get a fully guaranteed contract worth a lot of money a year. All
right, now switching gears, Bryce. How was it playing with Larry Fitzgerald?
My guy.
Yes.
Larry's a good dude, man. I love Larry. I mean, I talk to Larry I play golf with him all the time. Like we have a group of guys, like, it's in the spring, it's like me, Larry, Pat, P, Andre Roberts, and then kind of whoever comes in and out of town at the time. And, we spent time like this summer when COVID, or not summer, in the spring when COVID hit.
Right.
And like Exos and the gyms that I work out closed. He worked out with one of my trainers that I worked out with in the past. And Larry has like a really big crib, obviously, and he has like a gym in it or whatever. And he was like, yo, where you working out at? And I'm like, shoot, right now I'm just on my own, just like running, trying to figure out what I'm going to do because I don't know where to go lift weights at, And he was like, yo, we've been training at my house at this time. It's just a couple of us. We ain't trying to get it too big, but, I know you still trying to, play. He was like, come through. So, like, I trained with him for, like, 3 months, like, from March all the way up until, like, he left for the summer. So, yeah, Larry's my dude, man. Good people, obviously. Yeah. Second best receiver of all time. Like, as far as, like, you talk statistically, nobody's going to touch Jerry's stuff because
that's the GOAT.
He played way too long. Like that's just, it's just unfair. Like his stats are like untouchable. Like, but yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, I only got a couple months with him. I was officially his teammate from like April Fool's Day 2018 to the end of training camp of 2018. So I was only really with him for like 5 months. But still got a strong relationship with him. He's still trucking, still catching the ball and stuff like that. So, I hope the boys being led by Kyler Murray do their thing this year. And obviously I live in AZ, so, it would be nice to have, the Suns like they did at the end and have the Cardinals do well as well.
Yeah. So what's next for Brice Butler? I know you do a little bit of media. You're doing the YouTube thing now. You trying to get back on an NFL team or what's up?
Yeah, I'm still training, man. Like before I got on with y'all, I had a workout this morning, and then I went to the recovery spot, ice, hot tub, cold tub. I'm still doing that. I don't know where that's going to be, though. I mean, obviously, you guys know, like, I was in a training camp last year, and I didn't get picked up. So, like, at my mind, like, with my mindset right now, like, I'm not stupid. So, like, I'm trying, like you said, trying to get my other stuff rolling, get those balls rolling. Mm-hmm. I see myself in the media space, like having like a TV show, like a hosting show or something like that.
I see that too.
I see it too.
That I enjoy doing stuff like this, like podcasts and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, that's the journey I'm on now. That's why I started my YouTube, because I was like, you know what, like, why do I need to go hit up like Skip, who's a good buddy of mine, to try to like, I could still do this, but like go there and like be in the offices when I can like get a camera. Yeah. And start my own show and then just go from there, and that's right. And so that's what I did with Patrick Peterson, that first video that I did with him. So I got a show called The Back Nine with Brice. And it's going to be kind of like what you saw with Patrick, if you saw that video. Just super dope, videography, just us having fun, showing folks that of darker skin tone, like we like to play golf. It's a fun game to play, you know what I'm saying? And you see us talking trash on the course. You see us laughing and fun. It's not just all uptight, shirts untucked. Yeah. It's not like, now obviously there are some.
The golf needs. It needs some personality. It needs some swag. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And, the game needs to be sped up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's what I want to do with my show and my series. And that's what we do with GM Golf and all those guys.
Exactly,
We just have fun, go out there with slippers and, whole Adidas pants with holes in them. That's what Steve and all those guys do.
They all have their own personalities.
And we just go play golf. So we have something coming together soon. Cool. I can tell you the name of it. Like, we call ourselves Good. So
that's
like,
hard.
When you play golf and it's like, okay, that's a good putt. Is that good? Good. So that's what we call ourselves, and we're just gonna, we got a team together. We're just gonna shoot sick content. We already have 12 videos ready. I think we're gonna release them like soon, bro. Like, I think within the next 14 days. We're trying to iron out some contract stuff.
Right.
And then once that happens, we're gonna start releasing those videos. So y'all are gonna like it. So
yeah, fuck with it. Yeah. All right, now switching gears, we have a segment called it's called "What's Happening?" questions.
What's happening?
What's happening? All right, so it's either this one or that one. Very simple. You ready?
Get it.
Football or golf?
Golf right now.
Okay, facts. Go ahead, Willie.
Draw or fade?
Draw.
I know you're a married man, right? Or okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me no crazy question. Get me in trouble now.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll skip that.
We'll skip that one. Okay. Hate losing or love winning more?
Well, I hate losing, dog.
I feel it. All right. Here's a good one. Dak or Carr?
I gotta go with Dak.
My guy.
I can't. I mean, I have the most. I have the most catches with Dak.
All right, thanks. All right, MJ or Kobe?
Kobe.
I like that, bro.
Definitely. I knew I liked Brice. No, I love Brice. My guy.
Kobe's my Jordan, so that's
exactly what we say, right? We grew up. We're from right here from Cali, so.
Except this guy wants to go over and say, "Oh, MJ's the GOAT," bro. You didn't even watch him play. You're just watching highlights. You can't say that.
I feel like the NBA. When it comes to the NBA, bro, like.
But it's kind of like Jerry Rice.
The GOAT is so relative.
Right.
Yeah.
It's relative to who you are and what area you're in.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
that's what I feel too.
Cats our age and younger than us. I'm pretty sure y'all are around my age, but cats, younger than us, they're LeBron.
Yeah.
Or KD, but most of them are LeBron, right? My dad, Magic, Kareem. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I can't really speak on that because I didn't really see that era. I just see highlights, or I've seen games, and the style of basketball was different.
Yeah. But you don't really get a feel of the season
really
and who they
hard
play,
to say
and all that.
Man, if LeBron and them went back down there that time, they would kill y'all. But it's hard to say that. It's hard to say that because you can't do that. So how do you know, right?
Yeah. Right. All right. Moving on. Drake or J. Cole?
Drake.
All day. All right. Fight a grizzly bear. Tough. You think so? Who do you got? You still fucking with Drake?
Oh, I mess with both of them. I mean, for different reasons. But I mean, if we want to talk about who is like the Michael Jackson of our era, it's definitely Drake.
Oh,
right. Facts. All right. Fight a grizzly bear or step in the ring with Mike Tyson for 12 rounds?
Well, if I fight Mike Tyson, I'd at least would be alive. I would be able to live. So I will fight Mike Tyson, but I don't think I would last 12 rounds. He'll probably knock me out. At some point, he'll knock me out. I'll try to fight him though, but he hit me with one of those like, I'll be like, oh, and I'll just fall. Like,
what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say afterwards? It was my back.
Spinal. Yeah, I'll probably say, I broke my back.
That's just classic.
Last one: catch the game-winning touchdown to win a Super Bowl, or seek a 25-foot putt to win the Masters.
Oh, I mean, I played football for a living, so yeah, the football one.
But to win the Masters?
I did, like if it was me, like I didn't play PGA golf. I'm not going to play PGA golf. I could go catch a game-winning Super Bowl touchdown.
But think about it, bro. You get like a $10 million bag if you win the Masters.
No,
too.
That's his answer. Stop trying to change the man's answer.
But then also too, though, if I catch a game-winning touchdown, I probably was in a situation where I balled during the game.
Yeah.
And so I'm probably going to get a $10 million plus beer bag after that.
Okay. Touche. All right, Brice. Well, thank you so much for joining the show, bro. We really appreciate it.
No, all love, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on, dog. This was fun.
Hey, so you're in Arizona too?
Yeah,
We're gonna send you some merch that way.
Yeah, send me something. That'd be dope.
Yeah, we got you, bro. We got you.
That'd be
So anyways,
that'd be dope.
thank you so much for listening, everybody. Make sure you follow our Instagram page. Once again, that's at That's How You Feel to get up-to-date news in sports and music. Check out hilarious videos, see upcoming guests on the show, and much, much more. Hey, yo, Don B, did we hit him with another one or what?
Oh, we hit one another one.
Yes, sir.